citizenship to be a commitment you've made to improve your country, your community, your schools. Take pride in being a U.S. citizen. Realize you have responsibilities along with your rights and privileges here. Speak up about your views. Contribute time and energy in making your communities and schools the best they can be.
Good evening and welcome once again to the Citizenship Chronicles. This is your host Stephen M. Nelson saying get up, get out, and get involved. And that's what I did this last weekend when we honored our Minneapolis park system, where we combine the old and the new, and sometimes even the retro, such as the new pavilion at the lake, which has a very retro feel to it. Here in Minneapolis, we love our park system. We love our scenic views, the waterfalls at Minnehaha, the many trails with multi-purposes for jogging, walking, biking, hiking, and, well, like I said, multi-purpose trails. We have the overlooks on the river. We have beautiful scenes that take us through out the city. One of our highlights, of course, is the Rose Garden. This was planned and first planted, and it's that second one in the nation, by the man who lived in this house. A man that's whose name is well known, but whose history has slowly been forgotten. The purpose of this weekend was to honor this man and his whole family. Well, 63 descendants of the man were in town this weekend. And the man, of course, is Theodore Wirth. The event that we'll be chronicling tonight and seeing highlights from is the Worthwhile Weekend. So sit back and enjoy highlights from around the city parks with the Worthwhile Weekend.
I have some particular people that I would like to thank that are here in the audience. This statue would not have happened without John and Martha Richter. They're right. It's not time for you to speak yet, John, but I just want to thank you right now, first, right off the top. John is the person who, and Martha. Martha conceived the idea of putting a statue of Theodore Wirth. She brought that to her husband, John, who raised all the funding. So he brought it to Ted Wirth, and Ted Wirth conceived of the imaginative idea of illustrating a story of Theodore Wirth opening the parks to the children of Minneapolis, taking down the fences, pulling out the keep off the grass signs, a revolutionary idea designing playgrounds. Can you imagine, kids had to play in the streets before he came. So thank you, John and Martha, and are any of the other, I want to thank Ed, well, I'm going to let you thank those people, okay? All right. I particularly want to thank Mike Kimball. Mike, are you ready with that? Come on. Would you step up here a minute, Mike? Yeah, you. Mike is the Park Board landscape architect, and he put a lot of hours into working with us. It was a complicated installation. Given that he's a landscape architect, and Theodore Wirth was a landscape architect, and his son Conrad Wirth was a landscape architect, and his grandson Ted Wirth is a landscape architect, Ted feels pretty strongly about Mike Kimball. And he has something he'd like to give him.
Wasn't on the agenda, Joan.
I just wrote it in. You want to talk to Mike for it, or me to say?
Can you hear me?
You right there on this end.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
This is Mike Kimball, and he just came in when we needed him and helped put the finishing touches and the final design. Mike, I can't pay you cash, but I can sign this little book for your library, which is my father's book.
Thank you very much.
He did a good job.
Thank weekend, supporting us everywhere we take, the 63 members of the Wirth family that came to Minneapolis for this occasion. I particularly want to thank the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. Keep in mind, the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board have been protecting our public spaces since 1883. We would not have our public spaces without our independent Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. I want to thank Bill Raines, who took Martha Wirth's idea, John Richter's funding, Ted Wirth's imagination, and turned it into these beautiful sculptures, which you're going to be seeing in a few minutes. Bill, if you would like to just say something for a minute, and then I've got to get our children up singing. We got to get rocking and rolling here. This is Bill Raines from Billings, Montana.
Thank you very much. I'm going to read mine because I don't want to forget anybody here. But thanks to John Richter, Ted Wirth, and Joan for their vision and dedication for this sculpture garden honoring the great landscape architect Theodore Wirth and his love for the children. I'd like to recognize Jim Larson, Dustin, and Mark Grames. Dustin's here today for assisting me in my studio. And also I'd like to thank my wife, Melissa, who is my #1 consultant on all my projects. I'd like to say thanks to the family and friends who traveled many miles to be here today. And a special thanks to my models who spent many hours in my studio, Braden, Sydney, Kaylee, Shayland, and Cameron. And, yeah, could they please stand up, the models who came into school and worked very hard.
You want to stand right here for us so we can see you?
Why don't you come up here? Without them modeling and their wrinkles on all the clothing, I just want you to know that we're honored to be here, and thank you all for your attendance.
Minneapolis Park System has a very rich history. And part of its history is Theodore Wirth, a big part. But he didn't know this, he didn't invent this idea. He really learned it from his father and mother in Switzerland. His father ran summer camps in the Alps for children back in the 1860s and 70s. I know they were still in existence in the 1930s. I don't know if they are now. Does anybody know, are any Wirths here that know that?
Well, there's still camps in the Alps every summer.
There is. There you go. So he was doing this to help prevent juvenile delinquency and to provide good, healthy recreation and exercise for children. We found in our research, accidentally and oh so much fun, that he wrote a Swiss camping song for those children. And the translation was in the records of Conrad Wirth. I have 4 children here that would like to sing 2 verses of that song for you. Forgiven is the name of the group. Come on up, kids. You each want to say your name first? Want to say your name?
I'm Mariah. I'm Martin. I'm Michael. I'm Morgan.
And here they go.
If you want to be healthy and happy, go to Ellen, where Rochelle Berry Graves. Let's give her a hand.
Joan has asked me to speak on the importance of recreation to building good citizenship. As a social worker, we know the importance of learning how to play in developing good citizens in the world. Some people do not know how to play. And from my perspective, that's as important as a succinct diction and good manners. You have to know how to play. You have to have some balance in your life. And although we think play is just for kids,